Fair warning, this is about to be a weeb ass interest. Because today, we're talking about D-Police, 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 whoa! Welcome everyone to the final portion of units that I want to see in EB08, My Glorious Justice. Now, I figured I might as well have fun with this because I had so much fun coming up in Vanguard playing D-Police. Granted, it was a little bit later in the life expectancy of D-Police or Vanguard. It was around the time of BT12, like in between BT12, BT13, I think, when Link Joker were introduced. The worlds were finally being eclipsed in shadows, and literally and figuratively because of Shadow Paladin's Revengers were finally being brought in then. And then the true champion of justice, the Dimension Police trial deck came out with one of the more iconic units of the D-Police world, or nation, well, Stargate anyway, he released. So, we're going to talk about my units that I'm more than hyped. I'm probably nowhere near as hyped as a different fight, but hopefully this video does him proud. One of the first units that I actually want to see is the Enigman Ride Chain, which I do feel like has a high chance of being the triple rare inside of the set. I hope that happens. If it does, please let them be good. Please, 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 because I appreciate Bushiroad doing callbacks to all the ride chains. Well, most of the ride chains. Royals still hasn't seen that Galahad ride chain yet, but I mean, I guess technically now they have MLB, but MLB doesn't require Blaster Dark now. So, whatever. We're going to talk about those other units later, but right now it's all about the D-Police. Enigman Ride Chain back in the day, they just built power, and it was yeah, it was very inconsistent because they barely gave D-Police anything back in the day. But what they did give them is power and crits and power, which was it was great. Once it started going, your opponent was like, well, I guess I die now because I only have 4 ways to stop attacks, and if you don't see any of them, you're kind of screwed. The next one is a card that I don't think that we got in English, especially not around the time of its printing where we should have gotten it. And it was a promo. Jigen Robo, Go Eagle. So for those of you that don't speak Weeb, that's Dimensional Police or Dimensional Robo, Go Eagle. Go Eagle was a unit that he was just like Dayusha, at a certain power threshold, he got crits, except he kept going with his power thresholds. I remember with the next unit that I'm about to talk about, he could get 3 crits easily, and if your opponent didn't have a perfect guard, GG scrub. So hopefully I got that correct. I do remember him getting a surmountable amount of crits because of the power that he gained, which was pretty nice. And the next unit, of course, which I believe should be the next unit, unless they're just trying to steer away from flooding us with dimensional robo units, and they want to give it to us for Champions of Asia 3, or whatever they want to call it, is Super Dimensional Robo Dai Kaiser with an asterisk, because his other forms, which were Ultimate Dimensional Super Dai Kaiser and True Ultimate Dimensional Robo Dai Kaiser, those were all remarkable units in their own right, because one gave us triple drive as a grade 3, the other one gave us Legion with triple drive and shield breaking and extra crits, and back then you had to have your opponent at limit break. Nah, not with this guy. It was just, okay, you're at 3 damage, and I'm going to keep swinging unless you take the Vanguard hit, you're going to die. So, yeah, and all you have to do is just have Dimensional Robo units in Soul. But anyway, the unit that broke the meta literally and your shields, Dai Kaiser. I believe he should be in there because you couldn't build a Dimensional Police deck without Dai Kaiser back then after his release, because after then it was just like, why? Why would you not have a unit that gives your Vanguard +10, +1 crit, and the ability that if you drove check a grade 3, guess what? Your shield's gone. Perfect guard? 1 to pass, you mean? Sorry. And it's just like, it was so good back then, because like your opponent would overguard, and then like you drive check a crit, your opponent's like, oh shit. And then you would give it to your rear guard because they overguarded. They put down like probably 2 perfect guards, and then just in the case you got like 2 grade 3s, they put down extra shield on top of that. So you would give like the crits to your rear guards, and then you would just go hard on them, and it was so great. Like Dai Kaiser is like, I believe he should be a VR in his own set, but if he is in this set, I do hope he gets that triple rare and the OR treatment with his second art printing that I should have as the thumbnail for this video. Anyway, before so I can finish, hurry up and nerdgasming to Dai Kaiser, because I can sit here and talk about Dai Kaiser all day. We are going to talk about Kaizard, because Kaizard was basically one of the series of mini break rides. Like Kagero had one, Kagero had one that couldn't attack, but when you rode it, the Vanguard got +5 and a crit. Kaizard is the same way. Kaizard gave the Vanguard +5 and a crit as well, just for having a Dimensional Police unit right on top of it. And like, he could have been splashed in almost any deck, which I think I splashed him in Metalborgs. I put him in Cosmic Heroes. I put him in, of course, Dimensional Robos. But he's like so good, and I would love to see a retrain. Like, if you didn't ride this turn and you ride well, actually no, that'd be pretty weird, but I think it should be like, if you rode this turn, your Vanguard gets +5 and a crit for a Soul Blast or whatnot, or for every unit that you have on your board, or for every force marker that you have on board. That'd be pretty cool, because that goes with their theme of building power, building crits, building that one big turn of threat. I think that would be cool. And again, I'm not in Vanguard R&D department or create a card department, so whatever. I make bad cards up in my head. Now, a member of the Stargate Nation, who is also a Dimensional Police unit, who is not so much a man of justice, but he definitely was a unit that did make an impact, especially, and I don't understand why he didn't make more of an impact over in the States than he did, but Zeal. Galactic Beast Zeal was a great unit, because that ride chain was just like, oh, okay, minus power. I rode again, minus power. I rode again, minus power. Oh, I'm on grade 3 now. Alright, you put me at limit break. Okay, you're gonna lose a bunch of power now. And then, like, if you kept doing it, if you hit the full ride chain, your opponent was supposed to be at I think it was like -2 or -3 back in the day. Like, if you got no other units that's minus power, and then like in G era, we got even more stuff, and a G guard that minus power for your opponents, which was just like, seriously, dude? Like, wow. And like, a lot of people didn't like it because it was just like powering up your board by so much. But I think Zeal would be a welcome addition to Champions of Asia 2. I just hope that, you know, he sees the justice, or he gets the justice that he deserves, because he's a good unit, and I don't think that many people appreciated Zeal back in the days. I think mainly because he was overshadowed by Ultimate Dayusha. That cross ride being like, oh, you're gonna take 3 crits now. So that may have been why. And then just, it got outpaced by the meta, which was attempting to be fast because Aqua Force was out, and a bunch of other stuff. So hopefully that changes this time. And finally, a man that lives on the edge of justice and dastardly deeds, Sinbuster. because Sin Buster with Die Kaiser equals Shin Buster. Not really, but that's just what I used to like to call him, because you took your opponent's legs from underneath them. When you broke road Sin Buster on top of Die Kaiser, you can guard break. You reach the power threshold to get the guard restrict for Sin Buster, and if you use Black Doctor, I think that's what it was called. Yeah, I think it was called Black Doctor, the grade 1 unit, to boost your Vanguard up by another plus, like, I think it was either 10 or 6. It was probably 6, because back in the day they had weird boosting numbers. But it was like guard restrict, guard break, and then extra crits. And that was a Legion deck. And then on top of that, if you had the Legion mate on the board when you Legion, you gave both of your Vanguards more power. So it's like, Jesus. All of that, and then plus like the rest of the stuff that you did have access to, is pretty cool. And I think it was Metalboard Black Boy was a starter. You could Legion early. So it's just like, really? Really, Lushiro? This is what you're doing? Like, you're trying to make Deep Elise like hype AF. So if we saw Metalborgs, that'd be great. Like, obviously there's like too much stuff in here to like focus on just one thing, but I think that all of these units would be welcome additions. These are the things that I'm most hyped to see. Hopefully we get to see at least 2 of these units in here. And if I had to pick just 2, I would pick Die Kaiser and I think just for balance of the game, probably Enigmas. But who knows? Who knows what we'll see? Who knows what we won't see? But I definitely want those 2 units at the very most. So, as always, boys and girls, remember, be cool, be safe, be good to each other, and remember, protect your justice.